what's the most common technical mistake you tend to find, especially when you're working with a client or working with a new site? I'll start off and say that probably one of the biggest ones for me is most people have a website that has some sort of a CMS or something that's kind of out of the box, right? And these kind of notoriously can create a lot of extraneous or duplicate URLs, and that is a really big problem. Because the one thing I always hit home from technical SEO is every page on your website is an employee, right? And the page rank, which you probably heard that term, is essentially your gross revenue that comes, all the links and all the value comes to your site, and you're allocating that to every page on your site. So if you have 10 pages doing the exact same thing, you're really wasting budget on 9 of them, right? So that, for me, that's one of the biggest things is just these duplicate URL issues that you get from most kind of out-of-the-box type CMS.
Probably the biggest, certainly duplicate content and extraneous content is a problem. But to add to that, the idea of every page on your site being an employee, right, that idea. Architecture is probably the one thing that I see most businesses do wrong in terms of how they structure their site. Most businesses will just have this very flat and shallow structure, and there is no depth to a website. And that is absolutely critical in terms of becoming a subject matter expert in whatever your niche is. Where Google would expect to find a depth of content on multiple topics that is useful for the particular target audience that your company has. Most of us just don't have it. But it's a fun project. I can certainly tell you that. So that's the thing I see.
I guess from past experiences, definitely the integration between your desktop and mobile environments. A lot of the times you're separating two super servers. This basically just trying to migrate different content pieces and different pieces of authority from different experiences and different live environments. So, as you guys may know, mobile is becoming a lot more important. Mobile traffic is becoming much more valuable than desktop traffic. So, if you're not sharing authority or maintaining authority until one URL structure or one architecture, you could lose a lot of valuable traffic and authority in those engines.
I think one of the most common technical aspects that I usually found on websites when I'm looking around is the fact that people don't treat the websites the same way they treat their businesses when they have an actual product, like a manufactured product or a warehouse. So imagine that, just to give some of the examples that you guys were mentioning, imagine that you have a warehouse and then you have all the products in your warehouse and then you create a special editions of all your product or different parts of your products. Some of those sell, some of those don't. Whenever you get to the point that you finish that particular campaign, you try to get rid of that. You try to get rid of those products, or you try to get rid of that physical stuff that you have there. One of the things that I find most common into the technical aspect is like you guys can create different campaigns, and then they throw 20, 100, 200 different pages. When it's done, it's considered like it could keep living on the site without doing anything. And then it's like you have in this warehouse, and then your domain is the warehouse, and then you keep accumulating URLs and accumulating URLs, and then it's not even duplicate content, it's not even bad content, but it's content that it served its purpose before. So to be accountable and treat that like it's your own warehouse where you have to just organize and get rid of the space, give space for more things coming on, and then get rid of all the trash that you're not using anymore is something that is a very common mistake that it should be a good practice to follow.
So should you just delete all those pages and do that?
No, I mean there are things that you need to do with that, and that's why you need to hire SEOs. But no, I'm basically
for a small fee, I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah. Basically, I think there are common practices that you need to do with that. But one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to do something with those assets that you have there, either repurpose them or give them a different opportunity to do something else, or basically take that flow of that campaign, either links or traffic, to any other aspects that are valuable on your site. But one thing that you can't do is just to leave them out there to leave doing nothing on the site, because at the time when you have 5, 6, 10-year-old website, then you can accumulate thousands of URLs that are not going to be serving the purpose, and to Adam's point in the beginning, they're going to be collecting some salary out of that.
So, just out of curiosity, who here actually works with their company or their brand in any capacity with SEO or search? Okay, so a fair amount of you. So I'll give two answers. I think one problem that I've seen more recently is a lot of bigger companies are doing a big rebuild on their site, and they're getting away from the traditional, PHP site into a one-page application, a JavaScript application, something like that, and it's created some nightmares for SEOs because of duplicate content issues, because less URLs and things like that. So that's something that we've been dealing with. I think more simply, the most common mistake that I see from the smaller websites that we do is honestly the lack of a sitemap, and it's the most elementary thing. But it's really like, when you create your website and you submit your site to when you set your Google Webmaster Tools and your analytics, you can submit a sitemap through Google Webmaster Tools, and that's like the 101 thing you need to do. It's slightly technical, and obviously, a good SEO can help you with that. If not, you can Google how to do it. But I think it's something that a lot of people miss, and it's one of the most elementary building blocks to SEO. Otherwise, the Google crawler has no idea where to go when they come to your site. The sitemap will show them essentially a list of all the pages and all the deep pages on your website. So that's obviously, I think, one best practice that's I think that from my experience is most commonly missed.